Today, we're going to tackle the most popular question I get asked. How do I release the golf club correctly? Make sure you check this video out. So today we're really going to be focusing, as I mentioned there, about the release position. And this is something I get asked about a lot. And I'm going to make it as simple as I can, but also hopefully these tips will just make it easier for you. Understanding is going to be powerful. Understanding what you're trying to do and perhaps what you're not trying to do. I get a lot of people, they see the ball going right to target. Oh, so I need to get my right arm rolling more over my left. Not if you want to be consistent, because you will not control that club face, and club face control is key here. So better golfers, they don't do it all the time, but they have more awareness, more control over how quickly and slowly this club face is rotating, closing. It is going to be opening in the backswing, it's going to be closing in the downswing, but we can do it well, or we can do it inconsistently with a lot of throwaway in that flip release. Now, before we just talk about what I was doing there for a second, the delivery position definitely affects how you're going to release the golf club. So, let's say I'm at my top of my backswing. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to create some pressure down into the ground. I'm trying to get my body to unwind, and I'm also trying to get the club into the right delivery position. So I'd like to see, just before I hit the golf ball, at this last parallel position where the club is parallel to the ground, I'd like to see the club almost level with my hands. I don't mind it a little bit behind, but we definitely don't want to see excessive one way or the other. And I'd like to, if anything, see this club face just a little bit more turned down, so the feeling that the lead wrist is pointing a little bit more down to the ground. If I get that club more behind my hands, I can't just rely on some of those natural forces. So what I was demonstrating there was a down cock of my wrist. Gravity wants this club head to move down to the ground, and you can see that is making my lead wrist from this position to that position. So my lead wrist and my trail wrist, they are down cocking. They cock up, creating this angle, and they've got a down cock on the downswing. Cannot drive our hands forwards in that position. We would just hit everything for a right-handed golfer way out right to target, unless we had that club face extremely closed. So we want to allow some of those natural forces, the club to start to fall. If the club is a long way behind my hands, you can see it's going to fall way inside my target line. The butt end of the club is pointing out to the right. So the only way I can do that to try and square the face is to add a lot of flip, a lot of right arm passing the left arm in that release position. So we want that club almost parallel, when it's parallel to the ground, almost parallel to my target line. Don't mind the club being a little bit inside my hands. As I said, we don't want it excessive. And in terms of managing that face, if that club face was a little bit more angled down, as I downcock my wrists, and then all I did was I add rotation, I'm not having to, again, use quite as much hands and arms through impact. And that's all I was doing in that exercise, was I was in that delivery position pre-impact, with the club almost parallel to my toe line, the club face slightly down. I'm allowing my wrist to downcock. That's just gravity. And I just add in some rotation with my body. So my wrists are downcocking this way. And I add in some body rotation, Okay? And as my body starts to rotate, what we should start to see automatically is my body is starting to rise. So it's rotating and it's rising, but it's being forced to do that. And that's getting me into that very neutral release position. Now, are there more, do my hands and wrists do more than just down cock? There is some forearm rotation, but for me, it's linked to what my body's doing. So if I'm in this position and I just get the feel from here of rotating my body, my forearms are taking care of themselves. They're just coming along for the ride, if you like. And my lead wrist is this way, and eventually it moves this way. So it goes from flexion to extension. Am I aware of that? Am I trying to do that? Not really. Again, the down cocking of the wrists, I add some rotation. Automatically, the wrist is going to start to work as we'd like to see. So All we've really got to control is the down cock of the wrist, allowing gravity to work, okay? It's falling down towards earth, and we've just got to add some rotation in. But where we are in that delivery definitely plays a part. As I said, if I got that club behind my hands excessively this way, I'm going to have to add in rotation of not only body but hands and arms. If I got that club face excessively open, which is a very common fault as well, I could just do the other two parts, down cock and rotate, but I'd end up hitting the ball way out right to target. So again, we're going to have some throwaway hands and arms. So check where you are in that delivery position before you start working on your release movement. And then try and keep your releases as simple as it can be. It's allowing the wrist to down cock, using that natural force, and then it's just adding some rotation. As I add the rotation, my body will start to rise as it should. Okay, so let's get to that delivery stage. Club is almost parallel to my toe line. Face angle slightly pointing down. And I just add down cock of wrists and rotation. Okay, and that's getting me to the very neutral release position that you would see here. So as checkpoints, and I have film videos talking about checkpoints of release, so I will put a link just here, I think well worth checking out. I've got the club almost matching to the back of my heels, not excessively, it's not going down the target line, it is working around my body to the left. I've got the toe of the golf club almost just straight up in the air, okay? And you would see from the face on angle, my forearms are relatively level. If I'm pulling the handle through, you'll see something very different where my lead arm is very high. So we have to allow our wrist to down cock. They have to cock up, they have to down cock on the downswing. That generates some speed, but I'm using those natural forces, and I just add some rotation, and I'm automatically getting into this great release position. But you will not achieve it if you're way out post-impact in that delivery. So if it's poor here, work on that before you start working on that release position. Let's go ahead and just hit a full one. Am I thinking about it? Not really. You could do those exercises before you hit the shot. I definitely do them in the practice nets, the practice range, etc. You know, working on where you are here, and then that sensation of what we're trying to get through impact. And maybe start with some small swings and build it up. I'm just going to go ahead and hit a full one. So when we hit them, was there any feel there? I possibly felt like there was a little bit of throw with my wrist down cocking, and I just tried to get that sensation. I was allowing my body to rotate and rise. If we get the club in the right position and then we start to rotate that body well, a lot of these things happen automatically. So golfers are always asking me, well, there's got to be some roll of forearms. Absolutely. But are you focusing on rolling the forearms, or are you just focusing on rotating your body and allowing that to start to happen? Are you thinking about your wrist moving from flexion to extension? I don't believe so. I think, again, that's starting to happen as our body starts to rotate. So manage where you are pre-impact to improve your release angle. Just try and get that club shaft parallel to the target line, that club face a little bit more down. Now we can keep it very simple. Down cock, rotate. They're the key fundamentals, in my opinion, to start to manage that club face more successfully, start hitting some straighter golf shots. If you enjoyed the content, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right now, YouTube is suggesting the next video of mine that's relevant for you. It's just here. Click on it and check it out.